Hello, I'm Kathleen Osborne, and I have Lawrence Urban here. And my first question to him, because I will refer to him as this, is Jerry. Why is he called Jerry?
Uh, well, my name is Lawrence Jerome Urban, and all the males in our family, when I was growing up anyway, were always used their middle names. My dad, my brother, my uncles, everybody. And I just thought that's the way it was supposed to be. You weren't supposed to use your first name. That was like some kind of a special thing if you wanted to put it on the letter or something, I guess. But we never used them. I never knew it wasn't done.
That's interesting.
No, I don't know why, but
Hmm.
must be
It could be
a
a family
culture.
thing, family
Yeah,
or
maybe.
culture thing,
Yeah.
but that's interesting. And you probably started because somebody was a junior and they didn't want
Yeah,
to be
that could
called
be. That
junior.
could be. Yeah,
Yeah, because
maybe.
yeah, because you don't have juniors and girls. You only have it in like with my grandson-in-law, he is a second. And instead of
Uh-huh.
his son being a junior, he's a third. But they
I see.
they his the dad is Zachary and the son is or the dad is Zach, the son is Zachary.
Hmm.
So that they just distinguish by the ending of the name. Anyway, we're here to talk about you. How
Well,
did you get into writing?
I don't know. I well, my mother bought my sister. I have two sisters and one brother, but my brother and one sister are 13 and 15 years older than me. But I had another sister that was 2 years older than me, so we grew up together. And she was 2 years ahead of me. So I think when she started somewhere around eighth grade or something like that, maybe my mother, or seventh grade, I think it was, she bought her a typewriter so she could write papers and things on it. And it was a little portable thing. And so I just started playing with it, and it was fun to see write letters down and words and things like that. And that's how I started doing it. I used to go to the movies, and if I didn't like the way it ended, I'd come home and rewrite the ending for a page or two of rewriting the ending. It was more satisfactory to me, I guess. And that's really how I started. And
When you started writing novels, did you start what kind of genre did you start with? And why did you pick that?
my first novel was I don't know if you'd call it a mystery or not, but it was, uh, and I've rewritten it since then and haven't finished. And but it was started out. It was, I guess, a mystery crime novel. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And it took place when I was overseas and things like that. And parts of it are true, parts of it aren't. Of course, that's always the way it is in a story.
Oh yeah.
And that was the first one I wrote, a novel, and I still have it because I've rewritten it maybe three or four times, and I think I finally have it finished.
Oh, so you're going to publish it soon?
I've got four novels, maybe five. I can't remember. I think it was the fifth one too that I've finished, and that's not the first one I want to have published. The first one I have is another one, and I've got them in order that I'm
What are
going to
their
publish
name?
them.
What's the name of them?
The one I'm going to do first, and actually, I guess it is kind of a takeoff on the first one I wrote, is called the $20,000 Finger,
Oh,
and it starts off as a kidnapping, and then well, I would give away too much, but
okay.
the $20,000 finger is actually what makes everything go awry, turn sour on the kidnappers,
Ah,
and I don't want to give it away too much, but
okay. Okay. Well, that sounds interesting. It does. It
oh, good.
there's so many that you hear about today in real life that they offer an ear or a finger or something as, proof of life, number one,
exactly.
but number two, we're serious.
Yeah. Well, it starts off with when Martin Luther King was assassinated, and how it affected the people in the military, and that part was very dramatic because
Oh yeah.
I was in it at the time it happened, and there was a lot of tension going on, and that's basically how they get the idea for the kidnapping, and it goes from there.
I'm interested in reading that. I do like a good mystery. So even though it's not my genre, I do like them.
Yeah, I think everybody likes the mystery. Well, in fact, I think everybody that writes, no matter what your genre is, there's a mystery involved.
Of
And
course.
yeah, and that's what I think it's human nature to like a mystery.
Well, I look forward to when you do have it out.
Well, that's
When
my
did
first one, I hope.
it was how did you, or I should say, when did you decide that you were going to publish?
I've always
Oh,
had it in the back of my mind, but I've been a lazy person who I would write a story, a short story or a novel, and when I finish it, I just set it off to the side, and I was finished with it. And if anybody else wanted to publish it, let them have at it. They can go ahead and do it. If it's any good, I don't even know if they're any good or not. But when I got into your group, transcendent transcend transcendent transcendent authors, I can always miss that word up, and and that gave me the idea that I could actually do it because we talk about it at our meetings and things like that, and that's why I got the idea that I can actually get this thing published because now I know how to do it or have an idea of how to do it. So that's you guys. I think the group helps us.
how has the group helped you? And how
Well,
did you become part of it?
you guys had a vacancy about 2 years ago. I think it was 2021, maybe.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And my son Kevin is in the group, and you guys had a because you wanted 10 writers, and and somebody dropped out or had other business, and so it became a vacancy. And Kevin asked me if I wanted to get in, and then he introduced me to the group, and we were close to publishing the autumn novel, our
Hmm.
our, our anthology, and I had a couple stories that fit into that category, and I guess they were acceptable, and we got them printed. That was in autumn of 2021, I think, was it, or was it?
It was the spring of or the well, we published
Yeah, published in autumn.
Tolerance in 2020,
Uh-huh.
and I believe in the fall. So of 2020. I have to look it up. Goodness. And then the next book was fall. So it was like the end of summer, beginning of
Yeah, somewhere in
winter.
there. Yeah,
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 right.
yeah.
Beginning of fall, because we were trying to time it just so people would have it during the fall. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
How did it change you being a part of
Well,
Transcendent Authors?
the well, like I said before, I would write a story, finish it, put it off to the side, start another one, or when it came to me, I would start another one. And now, like I said, I see the opportunities of actually publishing because we've published like 4 books already,
Mhm.
and we got a 5th one coming out here in the fall. And And yeah, and I wasn't in the first one, Tolerance. I wasn't in that one,
That's
but
correct.
yeah.
Mhm.
So 6 coming out, and it made me realize that no, we can actually do this. We can actually get something published and put it out there, where other people can read them, and and the people in the group themselves offer good advice, good criticisms, and which doesn't sounds like a harsh word, but it's not. It's really helps the writers in the group to improve what they've done, and so that's how it's really helped me.
How did you feel when Autumn came out? That you were a published, at that point, you were a published author.
I guess it didn't dawn on me because I was new, and I submitted the work, and boom, it was published. Like I think a couple months later, it came out,
Uh-huh.
and I think other I don't know. I didn't really think much about it, but now that the others have come out, and we got the new one coming out this week, this or next month sometime, and a couple months, and I'm liking it. It's really exciting.
Without
Like,
giving it away, can you tell us something about either your last story and book, Summer, or this new one that's coming out in November, Deceit? Can you tell us a little bit about the story, just enough to whet our appetite?
in Deceit, excuse me, um, it's let's see, it's a Deceit is going to be a story of of crime gone wrong, and starts off with the grizzly bear, and then the next section is actually the criminal who stole $2 million, and and then the third part is about the guy that he stole the money from, and the three of them all come together: the bear, the criminal, and the guy that was robbed. And then they all come together in the mountains of Wyoming and Montana border in the middle of a snowstorm and a hungry grizzly bear. So that's pretty much how it goes.
That's that is amazing. The idea of a grizzly bear coming into something, and I know that the book is called, the entire book of the anthology in November is called Deceit. So it's like, so you're saying that you've got deceit from the guy who is still connected in some way to the person he robbed from.
Yes, there's only one really honest person or honest being in the whole story. Everybody else is full of deceit, and the one creature is not. It's
And
just true to himself.
that's the bear, the
That's the
bar.
bear.
Okay, I am really looking forward to that.
Oh, good.
What are your plans? Are you planning on staying with TA and Transcendent Authors and continuing to write short stories and also launch your own books?
Yeah, I want to stay with the authors as long as it stays pretty much the same. I mean, we've got a vacancy now that it's going to be filled soon, and I always look forward to new people coming into the group. And as long as we can keep the vibe going that we have, and I like it. Everybody's very helpful and eager to put a story out, and I like that. I like reading their stuff that they write, and so yeah, I plan on staying. And like I said, my first novel's come. I'm going to get it edited, and hopefully I'll have it out or ready to be put out by the end of the year. But we'll see.
All right. What would you recommend, or what would you tell somebody who is just starting to write? What kind of advice would you offer them?
I heard this advice years and years ago, and it's true. Read what you want to write. If you want to write science fiction, read as much science fiction as you can. Make it a habit. You gotta like it. Read detective stories if that's what you want to write. Find out exactly what the gist of the stories are. I mean, they're all about, they're not the same, but they're all different, but they all have a certain method that they use. Romance stories, which I don't write romance stories, but I appreciate the effort that other people do. And I'm sure they read romance stories. You can't write something that you don't know about. So if you want to write something, read about it. Read it. Become a fan of that genre. That's basically what I've done and tried to do.
This has been wonderful talking to you, Jerry. And I'm
Oh,
hoping that others, as they watch this, that it will stir them to write and reach out and to share their imagination with us.
well, I tell people, my sister, not my sister, my daughter. I have a daughter that lives in Florida now, and she's had an interesting life. And I thought you should write it down. Write this. I always tell people. They tell me things. I said, write it down. You should write a book. And few of them, I don't think they do, but the idea, I try to plant the idea in their head.
Mm-hmm.
I once read one time, I think that everybody's life story can be a bestseller, and now not everybody can write the bestseller, but it's
Yeah,
got to make your story interesting. But everybody's life could be that interesting. So yeah, that's what I tell people.
I truly believe that. I know I do the same thing. I have a goddaughter that's been battling cancer for years,
Hmm.
and she keeps a prayer journal. I said, "Oh my goodness, you should transcribe this and turn it into a book. Somebody will be encouraged."
Yeah,
Because according to everything that the doctors say, she shouldn't be alive, but she is. And in her book, she rants against God. Or in her prayers, she rants against him, and then she thanks him and she praises him. All of the emotions everybody goes through. And what a terrific book it would be if she'd write it and put it out there. I'm still hoping if she doesn't, that someday she'll give me her prayer journals and I can write it for her.
yeah, yeah.
But there's so many stories, so many people have they may think it's a dull life that they live, but if they would, like you said, start writing down the things that their dreams, the things that happen to them or those around them, they realize it's not so dull after all.
I've had people come to me and tell me they have a story, and they would tell it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't necessarily interest me that much. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But that they were thinking about, having your story, write it down somewhere. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Well, you've given everybody, I think, a whole bunch to ponder. Words of advice, words of experience.
Yeah, I don't know if I have want to give people advice or not, because I don't know if they'll take it. It might not be good for them. But yeah, just being part of the group is great, and I hope they enjoy our little interview.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, and we will talk at our next meeting. Bye,
See you
Jerry.
there.